let's imagine that I'm your boss and that you want or think you deserve a pay rise.
Okay.
Can you try to persuade me to give you a pay rise?
Sure. So, Andy, I think I've worked really hard recently. I've hit all my targets and I'm a good member of the team. Surely if I'm hitting my targets, I deserve a pay rise.
Well, those are good points, Paul. They're interesting points, and you are a hard worker.
Yes.
However, we do expect you to hit your targets as a matter of course. And I'm afraid at this stage, I don't think we can give you a pay rise. We don't really have such a big budget for that kind of thing at the moment, and I'm afraid I have to say no.
But I did get my targets. Not everybody got their targets.
That's true. But equally, perhaps we should think about cutting their salaries rather than increasing yours.
Okay. Seems like I failed there.
Okay, so regardless of whether or not Paul deserves a pay rise, he was unable to persuade me in this situation to give a pay rise. What we hope to do over the course of the next couple of lectures is give you some tools to persuade people, to move them towards your position. Okay? So with that in mind, let's take a look at some lecture objectives. If you take a look at the slide, you'll see we aim to develop persuasive communication ability. So we hope that when we talk with Paul later in the lecture, he will be able to be more persuasive in the way he presents his argument. Secondly, we're going to learn how to use the 6 aspects of influencing. Now, we'll talk about that in a moment, but basically this is just a tool for different styles of persuasion which you can employ at different times. Lastly, we'll take a look at some useful grammar for negotiations, which will be related to the 6 aspects of influencing. Now, Paul, I'm going to ask you another question.
Sure.
What does persuasion mean? We've used the word a couple of times already. We said that you failed to persuade me to give you a pay rise. But
Yes.
What does persuasion mean?
Persuasion. It's a kind of tough question. In my understanding, persuasion means getting somebody to do something perhaps they didn't want to do originally.
Right. So if I stand over you with a baseball bat and say, go and clean the office,
Right.
and you do it, did I persuade you?
You persuaded me in a rather negative and scary way. So perhaps you're right. Let me reframe that. Perhaps persuasion means getting somebody to do something that they want to do willingly, perhaps.
Okay, so the key is to use some kind of technique or argument to make them want to do the thing that you want to do.
Not force them to do it. Not top-down management with a baseball bat.
Right.